few of Shelley's latter videos, she was talking about flattening the course as it relates to doing the parish walk. Now, it may or may not have been clear what she was meaning by flattening the course, but simply it just means that when you're going over terrain where it's not flat, you're apportioning your energy in a more conservative manner so that it's more balanced. You can go at a certain pace naturally on the flat, and then when you're going downhill with gravity, you'll naturally go a little bit faster with less effort. But conversely, when you're going to go uphill, you're going to have to put in a lot of effort and a lot more effort to maintain the same pace that you are on the flat. Now, when you put in that extra effort, you are burning extra fuel effectively. And the idea with flattening the course is that you minimize your fuel consumption, and if you approach the hills a little bit more conservatively, that will conserve your physical energy. How I like to think of it is, if you imagine driving a car, and when you've got like these modern cars, there are computers on the dashboard, and on some of them you can select instant consumption rate, so you can get a real-time picture of what the car is burning in terms of its miles per gallon. So effectively, when you're going to go uphill in the car, instead of putting your foot more to the floor on the accelerator, trying to keep the same speed going up the hill, if you just ease off a little bit, you'll see that you can still maintain, not quite as fast, but you'll still maintain a reasonable speed, but your consumption, fuel consumption, will be a lot less. So that's exactly how it is when you're approaching the hills in the likes of the parish. If you just reduce your effort as you're going up the hill, you're consequently reducing your energy consumption. And when you're looking to do 85 miles, the idea is that you should minimize your energy consumption as far as practicable. So with the parish, I'll use that again as the example. I like looking at the elevation graph of the course, and you'll see that it goes up, down, up more, down more, up and down for the whole course basically. Yeah, there are flat periods, that's true, but there's lots of hills, lots of elevation difference. So with the graph, another way of looking at it is that it's a representation, sort of a metaphor for how you feel in terms of the aches and pains in your body and the aches and pains in your mind, if you want, during the race. It fluctuates. So sometimes you're feeling good, sometimes you're not feeling so good. It fluctuates, it goes up and it goes down. It doesn't stay static. So when you're doing the racing, if you approach the race knowing that's what's going to happen, you're going to feel good and feel bad. When you encounter these issues physically and mentally, you are more prepared. It's still difficult at times, but you're more prepared. So on that note, in terms of the mind going up and going down, it doesn't only apply to the ultra endurance races, it also applies in one's daily life. And you'll know this yourself, it's never straightforward. Some days you'll get out of bed and for no reason at all, you just won't be feeling good. And there's no reason or no apparent reason why that would be. You could well have a lot of money in the bank. You could have a nice house, nice family, nice car, good job. You could have all the material comforts necessary, or what we think are necessary, to have a good quality and satisfying life. But for no reason at all, you just don't feel too good on a given day, at a given moment. So for me, in my practice these last 20 years, what I've attempted to do is to minimize the extremes that I encounter, that I experience, in terms of super highs, feeling all excited, and the super lows where you might be feeling ultra depressed. So going back to the graph, the ups and the downs, the peaks and the troughs, how I've managed over these years through various practices like meditation is to minimize the gap between these peaks, the highs and the lows, so that I don't get ultra excited about stuff, but I also don't get ultra depressed about stuff, so that my daily experience is more balanced. And you'll see from the videos, I am pretty normal. I don't have all the big peaks and troughs like a lot of people might have. This is pretty much me animated, and it doesn't mean to say that I'm not happy. I can be ecstatically happy, I just don't manifest it to other people. It's just all inside. I don't manifest it out. And so for me, the peaks and troughs are minimized, but what I will say is that effectively the bar is raised, so that even now my troughs are higher, they're higher up, so I have less of a downer when I'm not feeling so good. How do you minimize these extremes? And for a start, the first thing I'd say is you've got to notice, you've got to become aware when these peaks and troughs are occurring, because oftentimes, more often than not, when you're in these experiences, you don't really notice. You're not really aware because you're lost in the mind. Your awareness is not really clear as to what's going on in the mind while it's happening. So that's the first thing. You've got to notice when you're feeling good and when you're not feeling so good. You have to notice and be aware of it. Just noticing is the start, and that's all you have to do initially, is just become aware that this is what's happening. And so, in summing up, if you want to experience more happiness in your life, there's no question, you have to find a calmer, peaceful mind. It's not possible to experience real happiness without having calm and peaceful mind. So with that, I'll finish for today, and I hope it will prompt a few thoughts on your part. Maybe you can start to do some practice yourself if you feel that you can benefit. I know I certainly have. So thanks for watching, and catch you in the next video.